bit?
Go for it.
So you just tapped out BJ Penn.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
What are the emotions like now? Are there any emotions? You seem like a pretty stoic guy in general.
No, I mean, honestly, I feel very fortunate for the opportunity to compete against a guy like BJ. Again, like when, a lot of times people are like, oh, that guy's a legend. Like that, he is an actual legend. He's someone that I've learned so much from and try to pattern myself after. So honestly, it's a little bit bittersweet because it's someone that I respect very much and look up to, and I'm very happy to get a good result. Even happier to not get beat the fuck up, but also. Having been on the other side, it can suck. So it's again, I'm very happy, but it goes both ways. But ultimately, something else I'd like to say is hey to my buddy Alex from Texas, who wasn't able to be here as a result of the venue change, but looking forward to seeing him soon.
What happened with Alex?
He's a buddy of mine. He's 11 years old, I think, and he was getting ready to go to. They were coming to Vegas, and then with the venue change, they weren't able to. It's pretty expensive. Like my wife had to get a plane ticket from DC to here with like 3 days notice, and went from like normal $250 to about $800. Which wasn't great, but fortunately we won, so we can afford it for now. Yeah, other than that, that was a shame that he wasn't able to be here, but I was glad to be able to get a good result for my fans and my friends.
Did you speak to BJ at all and kind of impart those words on? Okay, you're a legend. It's bittersweet.
Well, it's tough, because this is someone, particularly at a time like that, you don't want to walk over and like I'm not trying to like be weird and like get in someone's face, but at the same time, I hope that we cross paths at some point in the future because honestly, I'd love to train with him and ask him a bunch of questions, and. But right after a fight, no one likes the other person running over and Yoel Romeroing him. Granted, if it was Yoel, I wouldn't be able to do anything about it, but no one likes that.
Obviously, you're known for your leg locks and heel hooks. When he got that, did you feel that he was going to tap?
You never know. Honestly, I didn't expect him to tap because it's BJ, and some people, he's rubbery, and some people just don't tap. His knee popped pretty good. I don't know if it's torn, I'm not sure, but it went like crack, crack, pop, which when you put a heel hook on with pace, a lot of times that can be the result. But I think a big mistake that people make as a grappler getting into MMA is expecting anyone to tap to anything, because that sets you. I've seen so many fights with a jiu-jitsu guy. Granted we were both a jiu-jitsu guy, but let's say the grappler, puts a grappling style beating on somebody for the first round and puts them in everything under the sun, but then they don't tap, and the person who dealt out the ass whooping gets up looking like, how did this happen? And then the other person, completely unmarked, goes back to their corner, comes out for round 2, and is not playing around. So, honestly, I was ready for the full distance, and but it's nice to get a finish and get out early.
Ryan, before the leg lock, you kicked his leg. Is that part of the combo to get him off balance, or is that just
I don't think anybody likes getting kicked in the knee, so that's kind of how I thought about it. But I wouldn't like it if you kicked me in the knee. So with that thinking in line, that's what we were shooting for. But it probably couldn't hurt. Yeah.
Was that submission of the year in your opinion?
I
on MMA Twitter saying submission of the year.
Oh yeah, cool. I can't speak to any of that. It is the end of the year, so maybe there's the primacy recency thing. So yeah, that'll actually probably play in our favor. But again, I don't know how they judge those sort of things. I was just happy to get to work on something that my friend Tom Lee over there invented. And that's pretty cool because that's a Taekwondo black belt inventing jiu-jitsu moves, and that was I was really glad to be able to put into place something that we've been working on together for some time.
Why do we see you so infrequently in the octagon? Why is that? Why the long breaks in between fights?
Honestly, there's a bunch of things. I've got stuff going on at home. I actually just had a little boy, which is thank you so much. You never know what the fight game's unpredictable. Sometimes you fight. I remember when I was on Ultimate Fighter, I fought I think 4 times in 3 months, which was pretty neat, but a little much probably, unless you're Donald Cerrone, in which case carry on. But yeah, it's tough. Both people have to sign up, and I've accepted a bunch of other fights, and unfortunately people were a little bit hesitant to get involved. BJ is not afraid of anybody, and justifiably not afraid of anybody. So that was pretty neat to get to compete against someone both with his skill set and his of course credentials, but also just the mentality that he has. I think I would hope to one day, if I could again pattern just the approach that he's had to saying, he fought Lyoto Machida. That's amazing. One of us was like, I think I'm going to go to welterweight. That's unbelievable, and the bravery that takes is not to be understated. So ultimately, I would just say that it's hard to say why, but I'm hoping that the trend doesn't continue. Otherwise, I'll probably see you guys in 2023 because it's been 1 year between gray, the first one in gray, 2 years gray to this. That'd be like 4 years from now, and that'd be getting a little rough.
Why do you think people are so, don't have a desire to fight you?
I can't speak to that. I want to fight the best people available. I want to fight someone in the top 10 now, or I would like to fight someone in the top 15. And you know, if people chuckle at that, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Part of the reason they do is because I don't get to fight anybody. And also, if you want to see me get beat up, that's the fastest way to do it. Oh yeah, definitely a featherweight. I mean, I weighed in for this at 154 without, you know, I'm featherweight. Yeah, yeah, it would be nice to face someone in the top 10, top 15 at the very least. But both, I don't really care about the ranking. I just care about the challenge of the opponent. And again, those guys, I respect them very much. They're very good. I would look forward to facing anybody of that caliber.
Anyone in particular? Any names?
You know, I mean, honestly, I come from the martial arts world, and I'm a martial arts guy that can fight at a high level. I'm not a professional fighter, you know, like, so ultimately I don't like to poke at people. I don't like to disrespect anybody. And even if it's not perceived that way, I know nobody likes getting called out. So ultimately, we'll see what happens, but I've got into this for sporting reasons and to see what happens and try to become the best that I can be. So I guess that's all I can say.
I think everyone agrees that BJ Penn is a legend, but
oh, yeah.
I think most people would also agree that he's a bit past his prime and he's in a tough losing streak now. Do you think he should continue fighting, or would maybe like to see him hang the gloves again?
You know, it's tough. As a fan of his, you know, I feel I can understand both perspectives. You know, obviously he's a little bit older, but also the game has continued to evolve, you know, and unless it's difficult and it's evolved, we've stood on his shoulders, you know, so no one, it's not as if people could get to where we are without the Fedor Emelianenko's, without the BJ Penns, and I think it's very important to remember that, but it's also tough if everyone's gotten to watch you fight for 15 years and also figure out what you're up to, and then on top of that, copy a bunch of what you're up to still be able to win generation after generation is very challenging. And BJ went through multiple generations of fighters, and I know that he's still got plenty left. It's just the question of whether or not, I guess, he wants to do that, but I can also understand the perspective for people who say, hey, man, you've done enough already, why take the risk, why take the physical toll? But ultimately, telling another person what to do with their life, I'm not very comfortable with that.
How much preparation did you make when you found out that BJ Penn?
Oh man, I was ecstatic when I found out that I was fighting BJ. I prepared. I had a 4-month training camp because I haven't fought in 2 years, so I did a bunch of practice fights. I spent probably my entire show paycheck on training camp just to make sure I'm not playing around. You know, win, lose, or draw, I can say that I'll give it my best, and that means there's a financial commitment to doing that. You know, I go to TriStar, train, I bring a bunch of my friends to Virginia, I go here, I go there, I go see Kenny Florian. You know, I was very, very fortunate. I brought a ton of really high-level martial artists to Virginia with me, and then brought some of us from Virginia to TriStar, and you know, there's a financial cost associated with that, but it's something that I'm happy to undertake in order to pursue my best.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry?
Are you calling out any?
No, I'm just saying I'll fight anybody that's good, and let's go, sign up.
Kenny Florian was going to be your corner tonight.
Yes.
And the change kind of messed with that too. Right?
Yeah, that was a shame. You know, Kenny's been coaching me since 2014. He's made an unbelievable difference. I feel like I have the best, you know, at least I'm biased, of course, but the best corner team I could possibly ask for in Firas Zahabi, Kenny Florian, Ton Lee. These are some of the most introspective and thoughtful people I've ever met in the fight game. I feel incredibly fortunate to have their support. Kenny's been helping. You know, he was the guy that I looked at and then I went, hey, I want to be like him. Because particularly in the era of everyone being on steroids, he wasn't. And he's not overwhelmingly physically powerful, but he went from getting manhandled by Diego Sanchez on Ultimate Fighter in the first one to just improve, and he fought the best. It's an unbelievable thing, and so he's a guy like BJ Penn that I look up to immensely, very much, and would hope to pattern myself after. So I was ashamed that Kenny wasn't able to be here, but you know, we met up last night, we talked constantly. He was definitely, I believe, here in spirit, and I really appreciated that.
Kenny Florian, he's at the Fox Sports studio.
Yeah.
Karen Bryan, Michael Bisping wanted me to say that he was on his feet the entire time. He's incredibly proud of you.
Oh man, thank you.
He couldn't even sit down.
Oh man, I'm thank you so much. Yeah, Kenny's the best.
MMA, is it just a side project for you? Or is this like, are you like, no, this is what I do, this is how I'm going to make my living?
I like that you imply that I have other bigger things going on. I appreciate that could be the case, but no, I'm not smart enough for that. So we'll, no, MMA is one.
Whiskey or anything?
Oh man, I'm trying to get into the game, but it's the seed money, man. It's tough, but you know. I was about to say, if Conor McGregor wants to fight, he can beat me up. I'll take the paycheck. But it's absolutely worth it. But and then I'm hoping if he, oh my God, if he misses weight, that'd be the best. Because he's, oh man, because he's gonna get a bunch. But anyway, yeah. All right, we'll talk later. But oh yeah, no, I've trained with Conor a little bit. He's amazing, obviously, phenomenal martial artist, and deserves every bit of success he's had. Yeah, I look forward to seeing him come back and fight again if he feels up to it. Yeah, no, it's just I've got other things going on. I have my own gym. I have some other stuff. I try to help my friends in various parts of the world. You know, I've gotten a lot of help from a lot of people to be here today, and I owe it to them to do my best to help as well. But no, MMA is something I take very seriously. But at the same time, I remember being in the jiu-jitsu world. I was good enough to be close to maybe like 80cc top, like not consistently, but like good enough that on a good day I could have won. But it was a combination of I didn't always wrestle my best, and other times like the jiu-jitsu world, particularly back then, was like ridiculously corrupt, and so you'd have things taken from you, and it taught me a lot about just controlling what you can control, doing my best. I can't control if I ever fight in the UFC again. I really hope I do. I would look forward to it. I can't control if they cut me tomorrow. I again hope that doesn't happen, but if they do, well, carry on and just do my best to keep improving as a martial artist, and this is just a venue for that. So being UFC champion would not change my life, although it would. I could get a better car, but other than that, but on a personal level, man, I do this to try to just be my best. That's all I can say.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, guys.